Hey there, my name is Amber and I'm so thrilled that you've made your way to my yoga videos. So most of these videos I do on Facebook Live first before I post them here on YouTube. So if you'd like to do them with me live, follow me at Kaleidoscope Yoga on Facebook and on Instagram for dates and times. But in the meantime, grab yourself a mat, some blocks, a blanket, maybe even a bolster, whatever it's going to take to make your practice accessible and comfortable for you, and I'll meet you on the mat. Thanks for being here. So go ahead and grab a comfortable seat, whether that's on a blanket or on a block. You can even do, when we start out here on the floor, you can even do these exercises sitting in a chair. I know that crossing the legs isn't always comfortable for everybody, so I like to give options. So you can even sit with your legs out in front of you. Honestly, whatever makes you feel good, that is where I would like you to be. So we're going to do a slow flow practice today. And I just want to remind you that make sure you just kind of tune in and listen to the body. I mean, that's kind of what our goal is in yoga anyway, is to tune into the breath and the body and really just give ourselves the opportunity to just be with ourselves. I mean, we really don't have the opportunity to do this often. I mean, we sit in front of our computers and TVs. Maybe we drive a lot. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're really lucky, but the opportunity to really be able to just sit and be within ourselves and look inward and kind of get to feel that space is a rare opportunity indeed. So I'm so happy that you're here and you're willing to take that time and that chance with me. And maybe you're just here to watch, and I'm fine with that too. Maybe you'll join at some other time. So we just gotta meet ourselves where we are. So wherever that is, go ahead and lengthen up through the spine. We want to make sure that we have a lot of space around the lungs so we can breathe. You don't necessarily have to begin to breathe deeply just yet. I might ask you to here in just a little bit, but just for now, I'd love for you, if it's comfortable, to close your eyes. And if that's not comfortable to you, just take your gaze towards the floor for just a few moments. You don't have to look at the screen. We're not going to be doing anything crazy here for a few moments. We're just going to sit here and ground. And by that, I just mean just kind of the best that you can. Let whatever's happened in your day, whatever you've got coming up for the rest of the day, just let it stay outside of your space, outside of your little magic mat or whatever it is that you're using for your space today. So as we sit here and just kind of hone into how our body is feeling, I'd ask that you welcome in any sensations. And of course, I also ask that if anything hurts, please make adjustments so that you're comfortable. I never, ever want you to feel any pain. That whole thing about no pain, no gain is a bunch of crap. So, no pain. If you feel sometimes a little uncomfortable, that's okay. And it may just be that your body isn't used to being in whatever shape we're in. And it's just kind of giving you, a little wake-up call. And then you can just breathe into it and let your nervous system know that, hey, I'm in a great spot right now. I understand that you're letting me know that something might feel a little different, but I welcome that. Difference and change is good. So I'm just going to be quiet now for a couple of moments so you can just kind of settle in, listen to those, the words of wisdom that the body and the mind might be sharing with you at this moment. So as your body starts to come into this space and as your mind also makes its way here, I invite you to start to soften the expression on the face. So relaxing the space between the eyebrows. And you can lift and lower your eyebrows a little bit to kind of stretch that space out and really get a sense of, I guess, a sense of space around the eyes, between the eyes. And then once you kind of find that, you can just relax the eyebrows back down, relaxing the muscles around the eyes, letting gravity pull the cheeks down. And I know, ideally in life, that's not what we want, but here in this moment now, let's just try it. So just releasing into gravity's pull. And then softening around the jaw. And you can, kind of stretch your mouth out if that feels good. You might even invoke a yawn, which is good. And then you can just kind of, you can keep the lips together, you can part the lips, you can let the teeth kind of fall away from each other, the bottom row from the top row, that is. And then just maybe take a swallow and let the tongue relax. And just give yourself the space to soften. Now, I'd love it if you could give the arms the opportunity to just be like dead weight. Just let them go. Any holding in the arms. Let your fingertips be soft. Maybe you turn the palms upward and you just give a little kind of feathery movement to the fingers for just a moment or two. And then pause any movement. And notice now if your breath has become a little longer and a little deeper. And if it hasn't, there's no need to rush and change. It'll come as you relax a little bit more and more. And right now, we're just sitting, we're just being, we are just here right now. Feeding into this awesome moment where we just get to just be. So let's slowly together begin to increase the inhales and exhales. And I'm not going to ask you to do anything tricky or anything like that. And I'm not going to ask you to take in a breath so large that you feel like you're going to turn blue in the face. Just do what feels comfortable. If you're not used to doing yogic breath, a deep breathing, it might feel a little uncomfortable. It might even make you dizzy if you do too much too fast. So just take it nice and slow. And on your next inhale, I invite you to begin with the breath right at the base of the belly. And all you're going to do is you're going to bring that breath all the way up past the diaphragm into the chest. And then maybe you pause at the top. And then you're going to exhale and release from the chest down. And the last thing that's going to happen is your belly button is going to pull into the spine. You're going to release all the breath, all that stale breath that is stuck in there from all day. And then that next inhale should be pretty automatic. And release. Belly button to spine. And we're doing this nice and slow. Almost as if you're filling up a glass of water or a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Hello there. Oh, bless you. Oh. Keep it going. Let's do 3 more breaths like this, and each time see if you can breathe in just a little bit deeper. Take 1 more deep breath. And this time, I want you to sigh it out and let go of anything that you are holding on to. Good. So you can keep your eyes closed if you'd like, or you can open them. It's up to you. And we're just going to take a nice deep inhale here, and we're going to drop our left ear to our left shoulder on the exhale. Still letting the arms be heavy, and we're looking for a nice sense of space right here between the neck and the shoulder, right at the top. And then take an inhale, drawing the head up, and exhale to the right. Take a nice deep inhale, bring the head back up. Let the hands come to your sides. Hands release down. And we're going to take a nice big inhale and lift the right hand to the sky. Lift it up. Let the right hip anchor down. So we're just not tilting over to the side here, letting that hip roll up. Shoulder is relaxed, but brightness through the hands. We do this a lot here. And we want to have length through the spine. Take a nice deep inhale. You're going to let your left hand rest on the floor, and you're going to exhale. Planting that left palm steady in the arm, and you're going to reach. And you don't have to go super duper far just yet. We're going to have a couple opportunities to play with this. So if you want, you can take an inhale and look up at your elbow. And exhale, look down. Inhale, look up at the elbow. Exhale, look down. I'm just getting a little movement in the neck. Inhale, look up. And exhale, look down. Inhale, bring the hand up. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Float the hand down. Let's take an inhale up with the left hand, anchoring down on that left hip, reaching through the fingertips, letting that shoulder relax. Nice deep inhale here. Maybe we lengthen just a little more as we exhale. Right hand to the ground. Find steadiness in that arm underneath you, and then lengthen through the side body. Notice if one side feels a little differently than the other. And do your best not to dump into that shoulder. Remember, we want to have support in that lower arm. Let's take an inhale and look at our elbow. Exhale, look down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, down. One more time. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, down. On your next inhale, float it back up. You got it. And exhale, float it down. Inhale, hands to the sky. We're going to exhale and take a rotation to your right. And we're going to hold here for a few moments. So left hand can be anywhere on your thigh. But we're not crunching into this twist just yet. So, I mean, literally, if you can just maybe move an inch into this, that's awesome. If you can use the right hand behind you, just like we did for stability in the side bend. Pressing fingertips or palm into the floor, lengthening up through that right arm, finding more length in the spine. And just breathe here. Don't worry about getting deep into your twist just yet. We're going to work a little bit more into this here in a few minutes. Two more breaths here. On your next exhale, you're going to slowly make your way back to center. Take a nice deep inhale, hands to the sky when you're ready. And exhale, float them to your left. Same thing, just notice how this side feels and just rest somewhere that's comfortable. We're not trying to find that edge. It's going to feel a little different for everybody. You may have had a really busy day, or you may have been sitting all day, and the twist is going to feel a little bit different. Even in your own body compared to, you know, maybe if you did this earlier today. Two more breaths here, nice and deep. And then on your inhale, go ahead and bring yourself forward. And exhale. So we're going to do cat-cow motion while we sit, but we're only going to do one cow and one cat. We're going to hold it for a few breaths. So palms to the thighs. We're going to take an inhale, drawing the chest forward. And you may feel your pelvis kind of rotate forward a little bit, lengthening up through the rib cage here, through the front part of the belly. And your shoulder blades might hug back towards one another. It's going to depend on how that feels in your body. And you can gaze up. So I wouldn't let the neck just flop back, but you can lift up through the neck too. You can stretch a little through the chin if that feels good. And just hold and breathe. On your next exhale, slowly come back to center. Good. So take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, you're going to rock back. Hands are going to be on your thighs or your knees, and you're going to find a nice little roundness through the back, chin to chest. I can feel this all the way down to my knees today, all the way down my side body. and down my spine, of course. Just taking a couple of breaths here. And if that doesn't feel good to go all the way back, you are welcome to just dip your chin to your chest and just feel that gentle stretch through the upper part of the neck as well. Take 2 more breaths. And then on your next inhale, draw yourself up. Good. Release that breath, and I'm going to invite you to switch your legs. I'm going to pop off my block here. But first, I always like to release the knees a little bit, stretch the legs out. You can pull the hips out from underneath your bottom here. Point and flex through the toes. Just give yourself a few moments to just let the knees settle back in. You can always offer up a little massage here. Get the get the blood flowing again. And then let's go ahead and switch. So whatever foot you had behind, go ahead and bring that forward. So all those moves that we just did, we're going to do on this side, but we're going to add a little breath and flow to it, so it's not going to go quite so slow. Still mindful though, and find that straight back, nice and tall. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, bring it up, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale. We're going to do 3 sets. Inhale on as you come up, and exhale as you go down. Go ahead and keep it going. Be mindful with the breath. One more set. And then come on back to center. Release the hands down by your side. We're going to take an inhale. Right hand comes up. Breathe it in. Exhale, release to the side. Remember to keep that right hip anchored. Stretch it out. Inhale, bring it up. You may connect with the core. Exhale, release, so we're not swinging the arms up and down. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale to the side. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, float it down. Let's do a few more sets. Bring it up. Inhale and exhale, stretch it out. We're working all the angles of the spine. Inhale, up, exhale, which is super important once we start getting into some of our other moves. We just want to make sure that we feel connected. Last time, inhale up and exhale, and inhale up and release. One more time for me on this side. You might be somewhere else. And I'm going to float the hand down. Good. Let's take a nice deep inhale, hands to the sky, and we're going to find those twists. So exhale to your right. And the idea here is we want all the breath to release. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale to the left, let it go, all that breath. Inhale, bring it up. And this time, I invite you on the exhale to get a little bit deeper into that twist. Inhale, bring it up. Almost as if you're wringing out a little rag. Exhale to the left. Inhale, bring it out. One more cycle. Last time, bring it up. And exhale, float it to your left. Come on, back to center. Nice job. So let's do those cat-cows like we would normally do a seated cat-cow. Inhale into cow, exhale into our cat. So hands to our knees, lengthen up through the spine, really connect with those sits bones. Take a nice deep inhale, chest is forward, gaze is up. Exhale, you can round as little or as much as you'd like. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Give that body that opportunity to experience a full breath. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale back. One more time. Inhale, bring it in. And exhale, release. Woo, you got it. Bring it back to center. Let's go ahead and release the legs out in front of us. And we're going to bring our hands out to cactus arms. And find some brightness in the toes. We don't want to lift the heels. That can hyperextend through the knees. So keep the heels anchored to the ground, but flexing through the toes. You might feel a little bit of gripping in your quads. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Elbows come back. And just exhale, elbows forward. Now we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, we're going to do a big circle down. Inhale, back to cactus arms, elbows back. Exhale, bring the forearms towards one another. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, big circle. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, forearms towards one another. Inhale, lift those arms to the sky. Exhale, big circles. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, forearms together. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, big circles getting into those shoulders. There you go. Wax on, wax off. Let's make our way into our tabletop position, please. And if you have blocks, if you like to use them, go ahead and bring them up to the front of the mat. And if you like a blanket underneath your knees, go ahead and you can go ahead and pad yourself up here. And also another really nice thing to use the blanket for is to pad the wrists. So if your wrists hurt, you can pad the knees on one end and then pad the wrists on the other. Let the fingertips come off of the blanket or towel, whatever it is that you have. And so you can grip into the floor, but getting a little bit of padding underneath those wrists really kind of helps. So just finding your tabletop position, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We want to be strong through the arms so we're not dipping the chest towards the floor. And fingertips are spread. Let the inner part of the wrist dip down to the floor so you connect a little bit more with that thumb. And let's just find some organic movement here. So literally, you're just going to rock from side to side. Stretching into those hips just a little bit more. And then come on back to center. And I'm going to ask that you draw your hands out far in front of you. And we're just going to dip our chest towards the floor. Now you may or may not be able to drop your arms and your forehead. Don't despair if that's the case. Just kind of hang out where you're comfortable. We're just getting a little extra stretch through the armpit, through the shoulders, maybe even through the hips. This is puppy pose. Take a few nice deep breaths here. Let the breath find the back of your rib cage, and you might be able to feel your shoulders expand here. Let them open across the back. Good. So for from here, we're going to anchor down our right palm, and we're going to take our left hand and dip it underneath the right. We're going to come in to thread the needle. Now, if being up here is a little uncomfortable for you, you are welcome to move into a child's pose to do this. So just dropping the hips closer to your heels. And then also, I don't want any crinking up of the neck. So if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can take a book or a block and rest your head on top of it, and that'll give your shoulder a little extra space. And just take a couple of breaths here. You're welcome to close your eyes and relax if that feels good. And then maybe, if you haven't already, take that right arm and rest it on your low back. And just notice a different sensation here. If it feels good, great. If it doesn't, you're more than welcome to relax the hand back where it was. Just 2 more breaths here. Go ahead and release that right arm and bring the palm like in front of your nose and push yourself up. And then we're going to go ahead and do the opposite side. So extend through that left arm. Right arm is going to come underneath. Use a block if you need to. And then go ahead and take that left arm and place it on your low back if that feels good. And then go ahead and release that left arm out. Put it by your nose and push yourself up. I'm going to go ahead and remove my blanket here. Come back into tabletop. Bring the hands out just a little bit farther. We're going to go ahead and make our way into our downward facing dog. So turn our toes under and take your time. Pressing into the palms, into the heels, and lifting up. Ooh, a lot of cracking happening for me. Go ahead and walk your dog here. So just drawing those heels down to the earth as best as you can. They don't have to touch. And we're going to engage through the belly and lift up through the hip. Pressing into the palms, again, making sure that the inside of the wrist is pressing into the ground. And then we're going to take our left foot and we're going to bring it underneath our right. And we're just going to reach it out underneath. And you can put the knife's edge, the outer edge of the foot down. And we're going to take our right foot and we're going to turn our arch towards the floor. And so you can stay here, or you can go ahead and lift up here. If this is too much, bring that leg down and you can find your supported side plank. So a couple of options here. Taking a nice deep breath. One more. As you exhale, float that hand down. Go ahead and walk the left foot back into center. Press into the palms, lift through the heels. Lift the hip up, strong through the arms. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So right foot's going to go underneath the left leg, put the side edge of the foot down, and then we're going to turn onto the inner arch of our left foot, and then find whatever variation works for you here. Engaging into the core. 2 more breaths. You've got this. On your next exhale, float the hand down. Come back into your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale and let it go. Let's do 2 more like that. Big breath in and release. 1 more time. Let it go. Yes. All right, we're going to anchor down that right foot. We're going to inhale left foot high. And as you exhale, you're going to draw that knee forward, placing the left foot down. If you need to, bring that right foot down first. Bring that left foot forward, and then come on back up. Do what's easiest for you. So from here, we are going to spin around. Feet are going to come parallel. And we're going to be in a wide-legged forward fold. Bring your hands out in front so we get this sort of flat back shape. And you can bring your heels in a little bit, let the toes come out just a touch. And maybe just rock forward and back. And just notice what muscles this kind of hits. You might be feeling it in the calves, maybe in the hamstrings, maybe not at all if you're not tight. But just getting that nice center of balance here. And then what I would love is if you brought yourself back just a little bit and reach forward with those fingertips. Now, if you feel any tension in your knees, please bend them a little bit. So we're reaching back with the hips, reaching forward with our hands. Let the neck relax. So you can kind of look underneath you, see a little bit different vision of our world here. And then go ahead and draw yourself back into that flat back. Take a nice deep inhale here, and we're going to exhale and bend the elbows and float down. Inhale, straighten back out, flat back. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, straighten out, flat back. Last time, exhale, relax. This time, release the hands. You can rotate through the wrists if you want to. Maybe even grab the elbows and just find a little sway with the upper body. Let the head hang loose. Maybe a little yes or no action happens here. And make sure that you're not dumping into the inner or outer part of the foot too much. We want to have a nice even grounding through the foot. And then let's bring our hands back down. And I'd like you to maybe come over to the left leg. So we're going to bend into the left leg a little bit. You're going to let your right foot press into the mat. Again, watch your knee. So you may feel a little stretch on the inner part of the thigh here. We're going to take our left hand. So we're bending into the left leg. We're going to take the left hand and we're going to draw it over the right. And we're going to take our right hand and we're going to bring it behind our back. Get a little stretch here. Nice deep inhale, deep exhale. 3 breaths. On that next inhale, go ahead and release the right hand. You're going to gently draw yourself up using your hands for support. And as you exhale, walk your way to the right. And the left foot is planted on the ground. Nice little bend through the right leg. And if you find that your leg is a little bit straighter, then that is perfectly okay. You can bend as little or as much as you'd like. We're going to take the right hand this time and reach it over. And then we're going to take our left hand and place it behind our back. So not only are we looking for a little stretch in the inner thigh, we're also getting one on the outer part of the arm, perhaps. Remember to anchor down through the whole foot. One more deep breath here. As you inhale, release that left hand. Use both hands to bring yourself back to center. Let's heel toe the feet together. Yes. Rest here in a forward fold, feet together, toes and heels touching, relaxing the neck and the head. And when you're ready, you're going to let your bottom drop just a little bit. Your weight's going to anchor into the heels. And I'd like you to roll up, but I want to show you something a little bit different. Bringing the palms of the hands to the chest and then bringing the gaze forward. Engaging the thighs and the glutes and pressing up through the soles of the feet. So instead of rolling up the spine, we're kind of using the front of the body as an anchor. Good. Take a nice deep inhale, bring the hands above the head. Go ahead and clasp the left wrist with the right hand. Take an exhale and just reach to the opposite side. Engage in the belly, draw yourself to center, switch the grip. As you exhale, dip it to the opposite side, getting into that side body. Good, come back to center, hands reach up. Exhale, float it down. Let's take another deep inhale, bring the hands above the head. Palms together, exhale into your chair. Keeping those palms at your chest. Let your tailbone soften, let it relax to the floor. We're going to let our weight move into that left leg. On an inhale, we're going to stand up on the left leg. If you need to leave the toes of the right foot on the ground, please do so. Just inhale up, straight as you can, and we're going to exhale mindfully. Sole of the feet back down, back into chair. Fall into the right, don't fall, but rest into the right foot. When you're ready, pressing into the sole of the foot, engaging the legs, drawing yourself up. Big breath in, exhale, let's float it down. Resting the left foot down, let your weight move to the left side. We're just going to do this one more time each side. Inhale, draw up. You got it, so strong. Exhale. Softly rest the right foot down. Move your weight over. When you're ready, inhale, draw it up. Exhale, put that foot down. Come back into chair. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to twist to the right. You can just do a simple twist. If you'd like to engage in a prayer twist, you may do that as well. Spreading the toes, letting the weight be in the heels. One more big breath here. Let it go. Inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale back to center when you're ready. Exhale. Inhale, float it up. Exhale, forward fold. Relax here in your forward fold. Use a block if you'd like. One more breath here. Really loosey-goosey here. Take a nice deep inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, release. Palms to the mat, bend the knees generously. And we're gonna drop our left foot over to the right. And I'm gonna give you a couple options here. You can do full-on pigeon. You can bring it all the way down, or if pigeon is too much, remember you can always put a prop underneath your bent leg's hip. So in this case it would be the left leg, and you can bring that opposite leg up just a little bit. And just, you know, make the space for you, whatever feels comfortable. We're just getting a little stretch into the hip, and if the hip is super duper tight, then maybe a full-blown pigeon isn't for you this evening. Maybe it will be tomorrow, but maybe tonight. It's just nice to just kind of rest and get a gentle stretch here. Which is exactly where I am choosing to be tonight. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Very slowly, palms to the mat. And stretch out that back leg, lifting up the knees so we've got plenty of space so that we can release our left leg back. If you're using a prop under the hip, go ahead and switch it. Bring that right leg forward. And then again, you may find a full-blown pigeon resting down. And you know, if resting down isn't in your practice necessarily today, you can always stack up blocks. Or you can also just come and stay here. Never feel like you don't have options. And on my YouTube channel, which is also called Kaleidoscope Yoga, I have lots and lots of variation videos to give you ideas. Take 2 more breaths here. See if there's any space that you can soften. And then palms to the mat or the blocks. And this time we are just going to simply drop our right hip all the way down and swing that left leg forward, and go ahead and come all the way onto your back. Hug those knees in, rotate through the ankles, relax your shoulders back. Go ahead and release the right leg. And I'm going to grab a block for me here. Release your right leg, and we're going to move into a supine twist. Now, the reason I grab my block is oftentimes I see people resting with their leg kind of dangling here in the air, and all that's doing is putting pressure on your low back. So with a block, I'm pulling the ground up to me, and I'm just going to take that right hip and I'm going to shift it back a little bit. I'm going to just rest down, and if I don't feel like opening up through my chest today, then I'm just going to rest here. If I do want to get a little bit deeper twist, you can take that bottom rib cage and just kind of snuggle it towards that left knee. always remember if that opposite shoulder, so if the left shoulder right now isn't touching the ground, it's no big deal, but I do want you to be comfortable. So if it feels like it's pulling too much through the front of the shoulder, just relax it on your side. And take a couple of nice deep breaths here. One more deep breath. Engage softly in the belly before you start to move and draw yourself back to center. And from here, we're going to draw the knees into the chest just to kind of reset the low back and the pelvis. You can find a gentle rock from side to side. And then go ahead and release that left leg. And then when you're ready, go ahead and scoop that left hip over to the right side of the mat and let that right knee start to move towards the floor. And remember, if you're super tight in the low back, in the hips, you're probably going to want something to prop that knee up on if it can't reach the floor. This is definitely not a shape that you want to crank yourself into. So with each breath, see if you can soften around your center, softening through the legs, the shoulders. Two more breaths here. Soft engagement in the belly and roll yourself back to center. Last time, hug those knees in. Maybe this time you draw the forehead or the nose towards the knees. And then take one big stretch. Toes to one end, hands to the other. Big inhale, hugging all those muscles to the bone. And then take an exhale and float your hands down by your side or wherever they feel comfortable. And just let yourself breathe. And I'd like to share a quote with you that I really love, and it certainly helps me throughout my day. Surrender, even if you don't know what is happening. You are where you are supposed to be. So I invite you to stay in final resting pose if you'd like. And I'm going to draw my hands to heart space. You may as well if you choose. Maybe even bringing them up to the third eye. As I am so humbled that you were able to join me tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of my evening. Namaste.